Hello, hello, and welcome to the first ever episode of Two Scamps, hosted by me, Dave Lawson, and this other guy over here. I don't know if his name is actually Nick or NJ. Goes back and forth based on where you find his content. So we're gonna call him Nick today and go from there. Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Dave. Really excited to start up Two Scamps.
All right, so on Two Scamps, one of the things we're going to do, it's going to be a little bit different from some of the other content on the Willow Wraith Press YouTube channel. So we've got Realm Runners and Schmudgeon of Curmudgeon, which are two great shows on this channel that are more focused on interviewing one author about their work and kind of everything related to them and their book. Here, we kind of want to take that and change it into a little bit more, want to be informative, get some roundtables on here, talk about some things, help out some indie authors, while also getting some more focus on some of these great people that we're going to be bringing on. We're going to be bringing on editors, reviewers, people who are not just authors that are connected to the indie scene and talking about a lot of different things within that. So today, for our first episode, we are going to be talking to three authors who are absolutely killing it on social media right now. And so we're going to bring them on screen here and go from there. We're going to let them introduce themselves first. Oh, Aaron hated our introduction. He just left.
I'm so sorry. I realized I was sitting here and you're going to be introducing people, and I didn't have a copy of my book, so I was like reaching over to the corner of my office. Yeah, the timing was impeccable.
All right, so we've got Aaron N. Hall, R.A. Sandpiper, and Maurice, is it Afrish? How do you say your last name?
Fritch. Maurice Afrish.
Afrish, okay.
Got it. Yeah.
I definitely spelled your name as Alfrich in the original
you absolutely did.
promo, and then I sent it out to everyone again. It was like, hey, I misspelled Maurice's name.
That's totally fine. It's actually
so Aaron,
super
if you posted anything, you had the misspelled Maurice name, but it's okay. No one noticed. So gonna let each of you introduce yourself, talk about your books, give us the 1 minute rundown on who you are. So we'll start with Aaron, then we'll do Maurice, and we'll end with Rach.
Awesome. Well, I'm stoked to be here. Thanks for the invitation, guys. I'm Aaron N. Hall. I'm the author of 9 books at this point, but one of my most recent ones is The Legend of It's a fantasy comedy about a boy named Sir Dashing Jr. who only got knighted because the kingdom couldn't knight his dad twice. So he goes on an adventure with some misfits to basically prove he's actually worthy of being a knight. And it's getting tremendous reviews. It's been selling slowly and steadily along with all the content I've been making for social media. And it's just really been embraced by the indie fantasy community. And I'm super grateful for it. So that's me. I live in Salt Lake City and I freelance as a writer full time. And that's my life.
All right, Maurice.
Okay, I'm Maurice Africh. I'm the author of Cello's Gate, The Sky Pirates of Imperia. There it is. Imperia Book 1. It's a book about a crew of sky pirates who go on a treasure hunt. It's super fun. It's action adventure. There's a bit of comedy. It's kind of like Firefly meets Guardians of the Galaxy meets Indiana Jones. That's kind of the vibes of the book. So if you're into that, check it out. But yeah, I'm also a freelance writer full time, and I've only had the one book, so I'm behind. But we're trying to catch up. So.
All right, and Rach.
Hello, I'm Rachel. I'm the token non-American in the group. I have written 3.5 books because one of them is a novella. Oh, you've got 2 of them, nice. Because one of them is a novella, but it's kind of 4 books, but it's a trilogy and a companion novella. And I have a new book that's going to come out in 6 weeks' time, which is To Touch a Silent Fury. I mostly write epic fantasy, which leans a little bit dark, and it always has a romantic subplot, and usually it's incredibly slow burn, but heats up as it goes on. But the first book usually has very little romance in it. So that's me.
All right. And for those of you who are watching who don't know who I am, I'm Dave Lawson. That's Nick Alexander. We're also authors, but we're not here to talk about us. So let's move on into our first question. And this is one that's going to go out to all three of you to talk about. You can talk amongst yourselves, etc., ask questions to each other, and just kind of go from there. And then we'll add in the next question as we go. So first off, for all three of you, if you have one, what would you say is your social media strategy or philosophy? You can make it up on the spot if you don't have one like me.
Who wants to go first?
I can start. I sort of fell into mine accidentally by oversharing on the internet, and then I think that became my brand. So I started out just making content about my first book coming out on TikTok. And then the first video I ever had that blew up was me sort of talking about how 90% of self-published books only sell less than 100 copies in their lifetime, and kind of bringing the lay people into the struggles of indie authors. And it's been those videos and videos about how much money I've made, which is, sometimes happy and sometimes not happy, that have brought people into the fold. So those are the videos that do well. So I guess my brand now is just talking too much about money. But yeah, that's the strategy that's worked for me. Would recommend.
Super interesting. It's super interesting because I always have this kind of like urge to do writer content, but like my brand is I do like hope core book talk content, like book content. So my whole thing is I do a lot of fantasy work, but I also just do like general book talk because I want to connect with readers more than anything. I always have that urge to do writer content, but I'm like, I can't because that's like
Oh
pitching to
yeah,
other writers, and I'm like,
actively
I just
not
gotta
helpful
stay
to
with
me.
readers.
Yeah. A lot of my audience is writers, and like sometimes they're generous enough to say, oh, because you've given me this advice, I will also buy your book. But it's not actually, I haven't fostered a community of readers, I've fostered a community of writers. So
Writers are readers, and that's
Mm.
that's true, but it is more niche. Like you're not gonna more like writer content. I've always thought of it as like it's not gonna pull readers in. It'll pull writers in who are readers,
Yeah.
but like then you're kind of cutting off a big part of the
Oh yeah.
book community. So yeah, that's kind of my whole thing is just about like I just try to be funny and like post funny content. Instagram's a little different because you got to be a little more highbrow on Instagram. Everything's a little prettier. So I try to, I just pop a filter on the video. I try to take good pictures too, and like share them on my feed. But yeah, that's kind of my brand is just very tolerant, super like promote diversity, very progressive, very happy. I don't like to post anything negative because I feel like that kind of invites negative interaction. So yeah, that's me. That's Maurice online.
Yeah, I think my personal brand is like very similar to Maurice, where I definitely target fantasy readers, and then like sci-fi readers, tertiary. But like most of what I write is fantasy, so usually it's like fantasy-centric content. But my 3 golden rules of developing content are: 1, be funny, like try to make people laugh or entertain them in some way. Number 2, always point towards my book somehow, whether it's like sneaking my book into like some book recommendations or just like plugging it at the end of the video. And the third rule is just don't be an asshole. Just don't talk down on people. Don't try to like, knock on what other people are doing, but instead like try to foster like a place of creativity. But I do try to be consistent with posting 5 reels a week, so I try to do like, weekdays are my content production days. And I have like an hour set aside every day to like do a funny, interesting, entertaining video. And some of them perform very well, and most of them perform fine. But like it's like occasionally you just get one that gets a ton of traction, and that just kind of carries you for a while. So yeah, I also kind of try to brand myself as one of the clowns of the indie fantasy book space, and I think I do okay with that. But like I don't know,
Hilarious.
I just want to make people laugh.
That's interesting. You said you do 5 a week.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Rachel?
Mine's wildly inconsistent. I had a period in this goes for like everything I do in books. It's just not, the consistency is not there. But in January, I set myself a target of posting something every single day on TikTok. So I think I managed to do like 27 out of like 31 days. I've forgotten how many days in January, but I skipped a few, but I did most of it, and I did see that was actively helpful. And then in February I posted like 8 times total. So it's I don't know, depends if I have the
8 times is hilarious.
Yeah.
I do. So I'm an overachiever. I post between 2 to 5 times a day. So
Whoa.
Good for you.
well, I just launched, right? So in March, I just released my first book, and I was like, can I curse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna fucking do it, you know. And I'm gonna do everything. I'm just gonna run with it.
So where do you guys come up with your ideas for content? Because I know one of my biggest struggles, I'm a high school teacher, so I don't have that much time during the school year, but I try to like get content out, but then I'm just like, man, I can't think of anything to do. So I just copy what someone else has done the day before. But like, where do you guys come up with all of your content? Because like Aaron, Maurice, Rach, all three of you, I feel like I see your content a lot, and I'm always like, this is so good. I should, copy this.
Well, I mean, sometimes I more or less copy what other people are doing, like don't try to just copy it shot for shot, but like, oh, that's a fun idea. What if I put like this spin on it? Yeah, like that kind of thing. And I actually do have a running document of like content ideas, just like a Google Doc of like, if I'm sitting watching TV or like scrolling through my phone, I'm like, oh, I should do something that's kind of like this. So I'll write it down and save it for when I'm feeling stumped on one day. But yeah, it's just kind of like, yeah, great artist steal. There's an awesome book called Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon, which is awesome. It's a little volume that you'll read in like less than a day, and it is just like it'll supercharge you creatively. It'll just amplify you to just like start creating more. But yeah, I mean, ideas come from all over. It's kind of like story ideas, sometimes they just pop into your head randomly, or sometimes you feel inspired by something else. But yeah, I find it helps to have a running document of ideas that you can kind of pull from.
Yeah, I don't do that. I'm not nearly as organized because I post so much. I kind of do it the same way I do everything, which is I just let my ADHD take over. And so whenever I'm feeling like it, I just like record, and I'll usually record like 3 TikToks in one sitting. I'll just I have about 5 videos of me just standing in front of of my window where I put my phone to record, and the caption is like me trying to figure out what to do, and it's just me standing there like trying things over and over again, and that's usually a good bit because everybody likes creating like jokes about creating content. But yes, yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Chase the dopamine. I just say, whenever the inspiration takes me, that's kind of my go-to, and I just do whatever pops into my head.
Yeah, I think similar. I've also got I do have a running Google Doc as well, but it hasn't been updated in a while. I do have one because when I said I was going to make original content every day in January, I did have to give myself at least like 15 ideas. Otherwise, I knew I was never going to do it. Still have some of those ideas in that Google Doc. And then I also do a lot of research, which is basically just procrastinating by listening to other people talk about what book tactics have worked for them. So instead of writing, I'm just watching YouTube videos from like AutoTube videos of people talking about what marketing strategies have worked for their books. Recently, that's been a lot of photo carousels. Like you'll probably see them on Instagram.
Super big
and on
right
TikTok,
now.
Yeah.
Super big in content right now with carousels, just so everybody knows. Put words on a photo and just let it roll.
DS Diamante does it all the time.
Yeah. So I just downloaded 20-30 sort of moody photos from this app called Dupe, which is entirely free.
So what's the name of the app?
Dupe, like DUPE. I'd recommend. It's a free app. You can just like type like atmospheric or like dark or like whatever word you want, and it would just give you loads of free photos that you can download. So I've used that.
That's rad.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's good. And then I pull that into either into Canva, and then I'll either put the text on Canva, or I'll put the text just on my phone through whatever the editing thing is on TikTok. So I just use like the TikTok text. So now I have like an album of 40 photos, and I just pick 15 of them and then use a segment of my book, which I think feels hooky, and I do that maybe once or twice a week, and sometimes it gets 500 views and sometimes it gets 80,000 views, and
Wow.
I don't know how the gods work, but yeah.
Let me ask you,
trying to
are you
put those
doing
together? But like the finding images part, I'm just like, I don't
Yeah.
know where to find the images. So this actually is very helpful.
another place you can find free images for use? Pexels.com.
Yeah,
Another place.
Oh, I've
and
heard that.
Unsplash. Unsplash
You
is
do
good too.
Unsplash.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put those all in the chat. Oh no, it's not letting me.
Oh,
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
don't type in the .com part because it won't let you put in a link. But if you just type in the name of it, it should work.
That's it. Yeah, Pixabay is another one if you want like icons and stuff. I'm also a graphic designer by trade, so I'm familiar with all those things. Do you do carousels on TikTok? And have you seen them do particularly well as opposed
I only
to
do
videos?
carousels on
Mm.
TikTok. As in,
Really?
it's not that everything I do on TikTok is carousels, but I don't do them anywhere else, just to clarify.
Okay.
I don't,
okay.
yeah, I don't use Instagram basically at all, except for like updates. So it's just more like an aesthetic point that you could go to, which has quite a lot of up-to-date information, but I don't use Reels at all. I basically just market through TikTok. So yeah, maybe like a fifth of my videos are photo carousels. And yeah, I mean, I got 3,000 ARC signups for the book that's coming out in September from
Congrats.
one carousel video.
Whoa,
So,
that's
huge.
tremendous. Well done.
Sheesh.
3,000 is wild.
Yeah. Wow.
The good book
Yeah.
too. I've read it. Everyone out there
thank you.
should.
You
read
have
it.
to say that, but thank you.
Legally obligated to say it.
All right.
Yes, that's true. Somebody said there's a lot of Gen AI.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to like
Right.
Adobe Stock and stuff, you can filter out AI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that is true. There is a lot of that now.
Yeah, forget
Can you do
AI.
that on
really.
those other apps? Because I know you can do it on Adobe, but
I don't know that you can do it everywhere. I know you can do it on
I-
Adobe.
yeah.
I've freaking downloaded accidentally Adobe stock photos that were AI, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna use this, and then I'm like, this looks kind of weird right here.
Uh-huh.
Why
Yeah,
is that?
I think
Oh,
with Dupe, it's
Yeah.
mostly like pictures that people have taken that they upload and
cool.
they look real in that they're not all particularly nice.
Yeah.
So you can kind of tell just because they're a bit they're not super clean that
Yeah.
you think they're real. But I haven't come across anything on Dupe that I think is AI, but I don't know whether they're actually regulating against it or just the users don't use it.
Right. Okay.
That's fair.
So, do you guys? Well, Nick, this is actually your question. If you wanna.
Oh, sure. So I guess my question is, let's say you've got a piece of content that goes viral, does super well. Let's say you did a TikTok, went super viral, did super well. Do you repurpose that content in a different form and put it elsewhere? Like if you were to post it on Twitter or to Instagram or anything like that?
Well, I
Yes.
repurpose everything that I do. I don't know about
Yeah.
you guys, but
100%.
like, yeah, every time I make a video for the day, like I make it on TikTok and then I re-upload it to Instagram as a reel. And I'm starting to get into the habit of doing YouTube shorts as well, because I've heard that that's kind of like, you know, if you're doing TikTok and Instagram, but not like, you know, uploading your reels as a YouTube shorts, you're missing out on an extra arm of an audience. So I've been trying to remember to do that lately, but I've been struggling. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you can totally repurpose content along those platforms.
I do that too. The one I did it for YouTube Shorts for a while, but YouTube Shorts have a time limit, and for a while TikTok was pushing over 3 minutes, and then that wouldn't work on like Reels had to be under 3 minutes, and then Shorts loop after a minute. So I was like, fuck YouTube, but now I'm doing YouTube also.
Yeah.
But yeah, I repurpose like a crazy person. I actually we were talking about this before we went live. I have a video going viral right now on both Instagram and TikTok. And it was a repost from like 3 months ago.
Wow.
So like also repurpose again. Like
Mm-hmm.
you never know when the algorithm just didn't catch it. And so you never know, it might catch it now. So
That's good advice too, because I think typically if we see something that kind of tanks on social media, we think, never mind, I'm just gonna not bother with it. But you never know. Try it again later. Yeah, exactly.
I definitely have some that I thought this is going to do so well. It's like, Dave, you're an idiot. This This tanked. What the
This did
hell?
nothing.
And I could try it again now and see. It'll probably still tank, but I could try.
You never know. You
You never
never
know.
know.
It's so fickle. Like I will like put some work into like some book content and be like, oh, this is like people are going to engage with this and we get lots of comments and shares, me great. And then like offhandedly a couple weeks ago, I did this TikTok where it wasn't even about books. I was just making fun of the situation between Lululemon and Costco because Lululemon's suing Costco over their like cheap knockoffs, and videos got like 2.4 million views now and got shared like crazy. I'm like, yo, I was just being funny sitting on my couch. I made that like 2 minutes. But yeah, did anyone buy books because of it? Probably not. So like, what
You
does it
never
matter?
know.
Yeah.
But you might have got followers, and then people feel like you're more legitimate and might buy from you
Yeah.
more later. But yeah,
Vanity.
I hate that.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's fickle. So I don't know, guys.
It is fickle.
I don't repurpose, but I should.
Yeah.
I think
You
it started out
certainly
as a
should.
similar thing to, similar to what you were saying before about the cap, in that almost all of my videos that have done well are between like 3 and 10 minutes long. Like my biggest ones, not the photo carousels, obviously, because that doesn't apply, but the videos that have done well. For a while, I couldn't post them there, and then I didn't want to like shift them, and I just it's entirely laziness. So I just mostly just use TikTok. Yeah, at some point I should probably start repurposing videos because I've already got the content there, but I don't.
What I'm getting from this
Repurpose and
is
repost. You just you never know. And especially if you've been doing a lot. How long have y'all been online? I've been on Book Talk and Bookstagram for 3 years. So like I have a lot of content that I can repurpose
Year and a
and
half.
repost.
I've been
About a
on
year and a half, yeah.
I've been on the platforms for years, but I only started really working hard on like producing content since the end of February. So I'm pretty new.
So what do you guys do you have special equipment? Like I know there's these things called ring lights that exist to make things look good or whatever. Are you just recording on a phone?
I'm
I
a glasses
record
wearer. And there's unfortunately reflections with ring lights, so I can't use a ring light.
Oh, that's funny.
Dude,
Huh.
that's such a struggle. I mean, I'm kind of lucky because in this office I've got this this window right here that gives some good light, and then the overhead light actually like works as a pretty good fill right here. So I'll sit right here in this special spot by my bookcases, and that's where I make my videos. But something that's helped a ton is, I think this is overlooked, is get good audio. You know, spend $20 on like a little like Bluetooth microphone on Amazon or whatever, or you know, wherever you want to go if you don't want to support Amazon. This like good audio should be prioritized over good video. Like having good video is great. Make sure it's well lit. Do your best to like make that happen. But like good audio, good clear audio will really make your video feel more professional. So I am a big proponent of getting like a little Bluetooth microphone.
Oh, that's
I don't
good.
have any equipment. I don't have anything.
Love it.
I'm really coming across as like the least professional social media person here, which is totally fine. But I don't have any equipment. I think it's maybe that's part of my brand though. It's just like, so I'm so authentic. I'm so like down to earth. I'm like not coming across as professional at all, but like maybe that's
that's drawing people.
Yeah, if that's your thing, cool.
That's the thing with TikTok. TikTok really values the more authentic, genuine person. Like you see like ugly videos get really popular on TikTok, ugly quote unquote, because like it doesn't matter so much about like what you're putting into it. It just matters the value that you're providing. Instagram, on the other hand, is a little different. You need that high quality. You need a good camera. You need to do well there. So I mean, it makes sense that you're only on TikTok. So like, you're like, I don't need any of this. I'm good.
Yeah,
no, that's true. No, that's great. Hey, so related. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Aaron.
No, I was going to say, if you're doing lots of carousels too, then like, I don't know, like the microphone stuff don't really matter. And it sounds like what you're doing is working.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do a lot of talking face chatting to camera, on which I could use a microphone. Yeah, maybe when I'm like slightly less broke, I'll just buy a microphone. Nothing about it.
That is the struggle indeed. So somewhat related to like special tools, do you all use any specific programs for creating content, whether it's video editors, photo editors, anything like that?
I shoot and edit my videos on TikTok.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do TikTok Studio, CapCut, InShot, Photoshop. I have the Adobe like the whole lineup. So I do a lot of, because I'm a graphic designer, so I do a lot of work on Photoshop. And then video, I'm trying to find like a really good. I just paid for CapCut Premium, and it's really nice because they have like sounds and stuff. And as a book talk shop owner, I can't do a lot of the good sounds. I get like the commercial sounds only. But I don't know. I'll sometimes sneak one in. You know, it's like that's an audio I'm probably not supposed to be using. Don't tell anybody.
We won't say a word, Maurice.
I'm actually contacting TikTok right now.
I did use DaVinci Resolve for our Indie Book Bro giveaway video, because that was something where like I was collecting videos from a lot of my like Indie Book Bros for our big giveaway or whatever. So I couldn't just do it on TikTok. You know, I needed something like beefier and stronger that would let me like do some cool things. So DaVinci Resolve is free. It's free to download, and it's really powerful. So I recommend it. Because I mean, there's like a studio version, like a professional version. I think you pay like $300 for a license for, and that's used in like Hollywood. Like DaVinci is a great program. So that's kind of my catch-all video editor if I want to do fancier stuff. But most of the time, I'm fine getting away with TikTok.
Good to know. Good to know.
Do you guys focus on like a hook? What kind of hooks do you use to pull someone into a video and keep them watching past that first second?
The first thing I always do is cut the millennial pause, because no matter how good I am, it's always there. So the first thing I edit out is that pause. I also edit out
like 0.4 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like classic. It's so noticeable. Like people will just scroll on that half a second. So like I cut that out, and then I do like a lot of the movement. I do a lot of the like talking loud. I start with a lot of energy so that people like are automatically kind of pulled in. Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of my videos that have done quite well are like, it starts with me like moving the camera in front of you, and it feels like it feels fake, because obviously you could have just put it there before, but it's something about like the energy of almost you've just been brought into a conversation. It's like it's FaceTime with a friend. It doesn't feel quite so like, I don't know, professional, I suppose. So those videos do all right. Just like starting with movement, having a big thing to say in the first like 3 seconds. ADHD.
And coffee. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I love that though. That whole like it feels so phony, but it doesn't look phony when you're doing it. Yeah. It's like, I'm putting my phone down now so I can talk to you. And it's just, that's enough, that movement just for some reason pulls people in.
I gotta try that, because usually I try to like hook people in with like an interesting phrase or a question or like something that will just make them curious for the rest of the video. Yeah. Sometimes I hit, sometimes I miss, you know, but like the videos that I found typically did the best was when I was very first starting to make more content. I had this little series of what your favorite fantasy author says about you. So that locked people in really well. And they're like, ooh, I want to see if like he mentions my favorite author. And then my comments would just be like, do this person. And after like 11 iterations, I was like, oh, well, these aren't performing better than my other videos now. I think this is kind of like played its course, but maybe I should repost now that it's been a few months. Cause like,
why not?
Yeah, why not? So that's a thought for sure.
I might also and take out that millennial pause that I'm pretty sure probably every
pause. And I always start videos with like, okay, or all right, okay, let me say, and I'm like, I always cut that out too, because that's not necessary. It's much better if I start on the what I'm actually talking about. Just like I go right into it. Also, you can do the whole turn the book around and not show the cover, but I hate that shit. So I don't do that.
I saw your video ranting about it. I was like, and people love rants too. Like I'll do my video of like any audiobook over $10 is straight robbery, and everyone's like, yeah, it is, you know. So yeah, get opinionated sometimes.
Rachel, you have one that I think like how much money I made. People love to be nosy. So they want to know how much money you made. That's that'll hook people in. They'll watch the whole video. Yeah,
it's good. It works. And like sometimes people get depressed about the stats that I put out, and they're like, oh, that's nice, I'll support you. But yeah, the how much money I make works. Another good idea is to put in just above your head, if you're doing like a video of yourself, something that's a bit of, if you don't want to do the visual hook or you want to do both, you can put text above your head that's basically like a title of the video. But if you make it a little bit like a question, usually works quite well. Like for the how much money I made, it was like, how much do you think an indie author makes in a year? And you just like have that above your head as you're saying the first like intro 10 seconds, and then it keeps people interested for the information that's going to
come. Also, you got to pay attention to the audience, right? Do your research, be a user, so that you can see what is doing well and what isn't. I've noticed, like, during that whole time when people were doing confessions and they were like, I just got one thing to say, I don't watch any of your book reviews. Like, they'll watch the first 5 seconds, like it because they support you, but then they'll bounce. And that's like, that told me, okay, people don't want to watch book reviews anymore. Like, they're done with that kind of content. So I stopped creating it. I was like, that's not worth it's so much more energy for me to do a very like insightful book review.
Yeah.
And if people are only going to watch the first 3 seconds, give me a like, and then leave. I mean, I don't need to do that,
Yeah,
Based
I
on
think
my
with
comments.
Book Talk, people's attention spans are quite low. So something more like the yes, no, maybes of like, these are the books I read this month. Would I recommend them in like one sentence or less? Those tend to do a bit better on TikTok just because people get bored.
Yeah.
Based on my comments, people just want me to wear my wizard costume and twerk. So I don't know if I want to do that.
Do it.
You gotta subscribe to my OnlyFans for that. Sorry, guys.
I think you found your niche, Aaron.
Yeah, I guess
like that one guy who's like, here's something I didn't know in my 30s. Like, he just does only that now.
Yeah.
Like, all of his videos start with that hook.
Yeah.
You found your thing. It's wizard twerking.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh well.
Wizard twerks.
If it sells
Nick,
books,
what you need to do is get on TikTok and make a video and be like, I hear the way you sell books is by twerking like a wizard. Let's try it. And then do it and see if it works. See if it's just an Aaron thing or if it works for everyone.
Wouldn't it be insane if that blew up?
If it works, amazing. But like, if that video flops, that's so embarrassing.
It is.
It's only worth it if the video does well, and you can't predict it.
No, you got to embrace the cringe. You can't be afraid of it.
That's like not that many.
Embrace the cringe. You got to embrace the cringe. Otherwise,
I'm
like
naturally cringe, so I'm great at that.
That's right. He is.
Shut up, Nick.
You know what's interesting, Rachel? Have y'all ever looked at pictures of what like 500 people looks like or 3,000 people looks like? Because you said you got 3,000 arcs.
Oh,
like,
I can't think about it. It
Google.
stresses me out.
Oh my God, it's so many. It's like a huge Netflix comedy auditorium full of people. That's 3,000 people, and it's do the service to yourself of looking that stuff up, because it'll make you feel pretty damn good. Like,
yeah, no, that's a good
how
idea.
many people you're seeing you, knowing you, listening to you, liking your stuff. It's really cool. We deserve that ego boost. We work too hard not to get it.
That's right. That's right.
Aaron, this is your next idea right here on the screen.
Rate levels of varying will. Okay, so I need to rate a book, like, instead of stars, give it like
twerks.
People do that. They do videos of like,
is your
1, 2, 3,
people do videos of like how much I dance at this is how much I like the book. That's the thing. You could definitely do that.
Can you imagine? You could like reviewing like a really sad book, like, this book made me feel everything. I give it 5.
5 twerks.
Oh, it's
That
like
would do well.
some Black Mirror thing.
Get it on the Google Doc. Get it on the Google Doc.
Oh gosh! All right, I'll add it to the document.
Sad.
Yep, add to the doc. Oh, that's great.
So, Maurice, we talked briefly about how you had just launched a book. And I'd say, Rach, you also had you've had several successful launches. And I think, Aaron, you also have done pretty well with Legend of So with you guys, how did social media play into that launch? How did you use social media to get the word out? Did you have a following beforehand?
So yes and yes. Like Rachel, my wife is an expert marketer, so she's like she's an interim CMO. She served as a marketing higher up CMO for many like Fortune 500 companies. She knows what she's doing. She helped me and basically came up with a marketing strategy for me that was 6 months long. And
Mhm.
a big part of that strategy and what we worked on together was getting ARC readers, because I know that if you launch your book and nobody has talked about it, nobody made a video about it, nobody's made a post about it on Instagram, it's not going to go anywhere. So my whole strategy was called create the hype, right? Or create the overhype. I wanted somebody to say, this book is so overhyped. So that was the goal. And what I did was I reached out to 20 people a day looking for ARC readers on Instagram, because that's the message limit. And I messaged a very genuine, well-written, copy-wise message to people, just being like, hey, I have this book coming out. I think your content's great. If you'd like to read it, I'd love to send you a free e-arc. Just let me know. No pressure. And then there really was no pressure, because I was messaging 20 people a day. I forgot all the people I'd messaged. So I didn't follow up with anybody. I just sent the messages out into the ether, and then I waited to hear back. And I heard back from a lot of people. I didn't have 3,000. I'll tell you that. I didn't have 3,000 arcs, but I did have over 300 people download my e-arc. And then I sent out physicals to people like Patrick Leo. I sent out physicals to basically any influencer who had over 10,000. I just printed off like a bunch of ARC's physical copies, and I just sent them out to them. And that, I think, was the key to the early success of Cello's Gate, was just having so many people. That's why, I don't know if y'all have seen my ads, but I run review compilation ads for Cello's Gate. And the only reason those exist was because I reached out to TikTokers and gave them an ARC of my book, and then they, I don't know, felt compelled to make videos about it. And so I just snatched all those up. I did ask permission from all of them to use their content. And then because I'm like, it's marketing, I'm spending money on it. I currently have 212 ratings on Goodreads. Somebody just asked. And my book was published in March. I've got 2,000 TBRs on Goodreads and 100 people currently reading on Goodreads. It's the only place where you can actually get those hard numbers. Fable and Storygraph and like people who don't use any reading tracker, I have no idea. So the number's more than that across all the platforms. But I feel like I've been monologuing, so I'll let somebody else talk.
Rach, do you want to go, or do you want me to jabber on?
Yeah,
for a
I can
while?
monologue next. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So my launch strategy, I think similar in that I started 6 months before, maybe 5 months before my book came out, and that was just the cover reveal. So we had a long run up of multiple months of trying to get ARC readers. I only had one video that did remotely well in those first 5 months on TikTok. I had one video which was about a month before my book came out, and that managed to get me about 50 ARC readers. That's how many I had through my Google form. And then I also used what was the book sirens I used, which works quite well if you've got a romantic element to your fantasy. I think I've heard it works less well if you don't. And I paid quite a lot for that. You've got to pay like $2 per reader past the first 10 readers, I think. And I got maybe 90 through that, and another sort of 25 through Booksprout. So I didn't actually manage to get, and some of those 50 that I mentioned was from cold calling some Instagram people, but I didn't send out anywhere near as like 20 messages per day. I probably sent out 20 messages total to some people, and it was more people in the 500 to 2,500 range of following, because I at that point had 200 followers on Instagram. I had no books out. I had no trust, so I was going for like micro Bookstagram influencers. Yeah, so I think I 100% agree that trying to get, if you can get 50 ratings on your book around release, I think it's so much easier to then do the rest of it. Obviously, it's quite hard to do, just to like, 'cause you're playing a numbers game of putting out content and just hoping one of them catches on. And some things are easier to market than others. I admit that I probably have an easier ride on it. Marketing romantic fantasy on TikTok right now. I'm aware that that's probably a bit of a cheat code for getting interest, but and it's definitely helped with my next book because I've got even more tropes that people would just immediately gravitate towards. But yeah, so I guess that was my launch strategy was also very much around ARC readers, because I did a horrible amount of research on the self-publishing Reddit thread because I didn't want to mess up. So I was on there like 8 months before, just like, how do I not mess up this launch? And just did everything on the checklist that I could afford to do. So it's quite similar.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, like my story is pretty similar to your guys's. So like I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, like I had published like 7 other books before I had published The Legend of but my job of marketing them was terrible. It was usually like, the manuscript was done, the cover was done. I'm going to set a launch date in like a month, and then just kind of like post about it on my Instagram and Facebook to like my friends and family and just hope it would kind of work. But with The Legend of I finished everything like last summer, so it was done. The manuscript was edited, the cover was complete, everything was like locked in and ready to go in like July or August of last year. But I decided, you know what, I'm going to set the release to like February, and I'm going to spend like 6 months just like promoting this shit. So I did a similar thing to you guys. Like I used Book Sirens in a way. I did spend that like $10 to upload it. But then I realized, you're still supposed to do like individual outreach to kind of like try to like pitch it to some of these readers. And I figured, wait a second, why do I need to do that here and pay them like $2 a reader when I can take their directory of all the people who like cozy fantasy, which is kind of what The Legend of is, and just reach out to them individually on their blogs and Instagrams and emails. So I did. I made a spreadsheet of like 400 contacts of people who said they like cozy fantasy. Yeah, it was a ton of footwork. And I reached out to each of them individually, like went onto their blogs, found their emails, found their Instagrams, got like a little 2-paragraph pitch that said, hey, got this book coming out. Here's what it's about. Based on your content, I think you'd like it. Can I email you a free copy? And, just review it sometime before it comes out. And it was actually like the reception was pretty fantastic. Like I got 17% of people who came back to me and said, yeah, send it my way, which I was not expecting to get those numbers at all. And on top of that, I used BookFunnel to just make a landing page of anybody who wanted to download an ARC. There it is. It's like, you don't have to be an influencer. You don't have to be just anybody. So I put it in the bios of all my social media, and I was making frequent posts on my story or whatever, like free book, go get it. It's not coming out until February, but you can get a free copy right now. Go download it. And that got downloaded about 1,700 times before the book came out.
Good for you.
Thank you. But I mean, with all the footwork of reaching out to bloggers, influencers, Instagrammers, whoever, and the ARCs that were available for download before the book came out, I had 46 reviews on release date, of in an average score of like 4.5 out of 5 stars. So it's like I had hit that 50 review mark. And I even talked to one of my friends about it. I'm the director of public relations for Operation Literacy, which is like a Utah-based nonprofit that's trying to get books in the hands of underprivileged kids, and one of our friends is Jennifer A. Nielsen, which is a #1 New York Times bestselling author in the middle grade space. Like she's absolutely crushing it. So I was talking to her about like kind of my strategy and what I was doing. And she was like, Aaron, you're doing everything right. Like if you have 50 reviews or like ballpark of 50 reviews by the time your book comes out, like that book's got legs and it'll probably continue to move as you go. And I'm continually like sending out copies of The Legend of it's, if I notice someone follows me and they've got like 10,000 followers in the book space, I'm like, hey, you want a free book? Like, can I send it to you? Like, I'll send you a paperback. I've got an audio book. I got an ebook. You just tell me what you want and I'll send it to you ASAP. So I'm continually like trying to keep the momentum going. And I feel like making all the content, like the reels and all this stuff has helped. But The Legend of has been like a slow, steady, growing thing where, I keep getting reviews and like the to read counter just keeps going up and up and up on Goodreads. Yeah. So I'm like, this is moving. I need to write sequels. Like this people are like latching onto this. So yeah, but it was a hours and hours and hours and hours of sending emails and DMs and
That's the big difference, man. It's the people that put in a ton of work. You see it. You see that work come. Did y'all get on NetGalley?
I thought about
No.
it, but
I considered
I was
it,
in
but I
NetGalley.
didn't.
I got about
Yeah.
80 ARCs from NetGalley.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
What I'd heard
That is
about
good.
NetGalley and seen was just like there were people who were so really,
Mean.
really harsh
Yeah.
on NetGalley, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this on the that first book.
I was planning.
I managed to
yeah.
get like 109 ARC readers, a lot of them through Twitter,
Hmm.
actually. Give
Twitter.
Twitter a little
Wow.
shout out here. And I had like 40 something reviews at release, and I'm up at like 115 now.
that's
But
great.
Yeah, good for you.
Congrats.
like basically I've never gone viral. I just badger people into reading my books, I guess. Having an audiobook has really helped. And I know, Rach, you have 2 audiobooks now. Aaron, I listened to your audiobook. Maurice, you're recording your audiobook, right?
Yeah, that's what this is.
Heck yeah, dude.
Oh,
All
nice.
this.
I was gonna say, look like you're in a
That makes sense.
soundproof room there. Good for you.
But I feel like everybody in this chat needs to give themselves some credit too, because like you can do all the marketing in the world, and if your book isn't good, it's not
Mhm.
gonna move, you know.
right.
But I mean, Rachel and Dave, I'm sorry, I haven't read your work yet, but Maurice, I'm 10% into Cello's Gate, and I'm like, this doesn't read like a first book. This is really, really
Thank
good.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, and Dave, I mean, your
Invest in
reviews
your
speak for
product.
themselves.
You have to invest in
Yeah.
your product.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I tell
Totally.
everybody, get a developmental editor, get a line editor, hire a cover artist. I'm a graphic designer, so I design my own typography. But like, if I didn't, I would have paid somebody, you know, because my
Yeah.
my artist didn't do that.
Totally. So everyone here has written great books. Well done. Congratulations, all of us. Yay.
Aw.
So if
Thanks,
I do a
Aaron.
video, my next one is this is the most overrated book ever. And then I have this one here.
No
and talk about
overhype.
how good
I
the
will
first-
share it everywhere.
All
I
right,
will
that's
share it
my next
everywhere.
video. I'll get that.
Oh, that's
That's
funny.
it. That is a way to get people reading it. It's like the whole Danny Francis Silver Elite. It was like, what's going on? Is this even a real person? Like, and then people
Yeah,
were like, well, I gotta
the
read it to
controversy.
figure out if it's controversy
Hmm.
works.
That's
Mhm.
funny.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen those rappers.
Sorry,
Oh,
I was
sorry, you
just
go
gonna
ahead.
I was going to ask you a question actually, because you're saying how you were talking about you put it as a free book in your like bio, and you let like anyone sign up to it, and you had a landing page on BookFunnel. I don't know if you've experienced this or anyone else has experienced this, but I've personally found that it's actually easier to get people interested when they believe that it's exclusive, even if you're not actually being particularly exclusive about it. But I
100%.
find that
I
like
agree with that.
quite helpful if people think that it's like more restricted. But yeah, no, just like as a comparison point, so like that obviously worked really well for you, and you got 1,700 ratings, and now I'm thinking like maybe or sign-ups, but now I'm thinking I should be doing that. But also I feel like there's a gravitational thing towards, oh, I wanna be one of the people that gets one. Do you know what I mean?
It helps
No,
to
I
make people
absolutely
feel
get it.
special. 100%.
Yeah. And I guess like I've always struggled with like the exclusivity thing of like
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to implement it and make it work for me. Just recently I've started like kind of switching up my newsletter and calling it the Insiders Guild, where, you know, that's
Yeah.
where you get your free copy of I'm Sorry, Here's a Plasma Rifle, my collection of short stories and poems. But my Insiders Guild is also the only place where people know about sales on my website. Like my website will have sales like a couple times a month, but I don't post them out on my social media. Like you have to be subscribed to my
Yeah.
Insiders Guild to see if anything's going on sale.
That's awesome.
That's a
So
good idea.
that's like kind of how I've been approaching it, but I don't know. I think the free download worked to a degree. I think what helped a ton is I included the free download of The Legend of as part of like one of those Indivisible events downloads. So I got on board with that. So that was featured with a bunch of other
cool.
ebooks that were like free for a couple of days. I think it got downloaded like 800 times in 2 days because of that. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's obviously worked really well for you. I don't know. I'm just doing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know what's best. I don't know what the strategy is. I
Yeah.
feel like
So
giving an
Rach,
air
with
of
yours,
exclusivity can be good. Yeah.
You have like because I was an ARC reader for your first book before, like then obviously reading your other ones before that stage. But like you sent out that little email, it's like you've been selected, and you had like a graphic, and you made the
that is what I
person
do.
feel like they were really special, and like you basically accepted everyone. But you made it.
That's not true.
You did not accept everyone.
Someone watching this is like, what?
Like 90%. Maybe like 90%. But yes, I mean, at
You
the
made
moment,
it seem like you are one
Yeah.
of the few who got this. You're important. And I think that probably did make people feel like, oh my gosh, I got one of these. All those other people, all those losers out there didn't get one. Alex, I never said I
Yeah.
was.
I mean, this time I've got 3,400 applicants, and I'm sending it to 2,800. So it's pretty exclusive, if you
Wow.
ask me. Mostly
So,
because the other ones said that they only wanted a physical copy, and I can't afford to send those out. But you know,
Yeah,
It's
well,
still a lot
to
to send
600 people, that would be, yeah,
It'd be
you've got
quite
an
expensive.
80% track, you know, only 80% are getting it.
That's pretty good. That is
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we move on here, we've got a good question from Alex in the chat. Maurice, you already answered them, so feel free to sit this one out if you want. But for Rachel and Aaron, how much time do y'all spend on marketing versus writing or editing?
I'd say it's 50-50, you know, because
Mm.
like my goal when I'm in the writing phase, like first draft, my goal is to hit like 1,200, 1,300 words a day. And usually I surpass that. But that takes me like an hour and a half, 2 hours to write that. And I'll usually spend like an hour or so like making content for the day on a weekday. But then I'm also doing extra time like, you know, tightening up things on my author store and like maybe updating something on my website and like scrolling through social media to find ideas. It takes too much time. I don't like it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I guess I think it's harder for me to define how much time I spend on marketing, because sometimes when I'm scrolling through book talk videos, that feels like a marketing adjacent job. And sometimes I'll spend like 45 minutes making a video, and that feels like actual marketing. But when I'm doing other stuff like making Canva graphics, or I procrastinate a lot on Canva. So if you added all the time I've spent on Canva, it ends up probably being 50-50 in the amount of time spent. But if you actually cut that down to the 20% of stuff that's actually making a big difference, then my marketing time would probably actually plummet quite significantly. But yeah, similar, like I probably try to write, when I'm writing, try to write like 2 or 3 hours a day. And then when I'm editing, I have a lot more of a capacity to edit for a lot longer. So my editing's, I can sit and edit for like 8 hours straight, but I couldn't do that with writing.
Gotcha. Oh, thanks for answering that. Oh, we got another question from Richard here.
Marketing's fun, Richard. Everyone always criticizes me. I think marketing's fun.
Marketing is, I would love to get off social media, honestly. I just took a break. I took 2 weeks off, and it was like I needed it because I had been going so hard and there for like a month. I was doing 5 posts a day, so I was like really online. I came back with a strategy to like, I have a limit on how long I can be on social media every day on all the apps, specific apps. So I have like an hour and a half on TikTok, an hour and a half on Instagram. But I would say, so I'm trying to get those 4 to 5 hours, I'm trying to get that down. I would love to just like publish a book and everybody buys it, and then I don't have to do it. I mean, wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be amazing. Because I enjoy being on social media, but it is exhausting.
Yes.
It is so exhausting because such a big part of it is networking. I mean, you're not going to do well if you're not in your comment sections, if you're not in other people's comment sections, if you're not watching stories, if you're not replying to people, you're not going to get anywhere. So you have to go that extra mile when you're on, and it's a full-time job, and I have a full-time job also. So I'm working 2 full-time jobs right now, and it is tiring, but I do it because I worked my ass off on this book and I want people to read it. And so, yeah, that's the only way to get people to read it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Maurice. Like, if I could just write books and not be connected to social media at all times, like if I just had a legion of fans who were just biting at the bit, like waiting for my next release to come out, and I knew that as soon as I released it, I'd make, you know, a bucket of cash, dude, you would never see me on social media. I would never, you wouldn't know anything about me unless you like followed my blog or whatever. So I don't know. To me, it's a necessary evil, which is like kind of ironic considering that most of my professional career has been in marketing and PR. But marketing a book is harder than any other product I've ever tried to market. It is so difficult. But I mean, the bright side is I've made some awesome friends in the indie community. I mean, like you guys here on this call, like you're all freaking badass, and I love connecting with you. And I'm so blessed and thankful for the people I've connected to. But it is a lot of work. It's a ton of work, and it can be exhausting. And I got burnt out last week. I had a day where I was like, I can't do this right now. Like I just crashed. And you need to be wary of that. But it's just part of the game.
Yeah, for real. So we're going to go into a couple of questions here for some specific members of this.
All right,
this chat.
I was getting ready for this.
All right.
Oh.
There's a graphic. See,
There's
this is
graphic.
Canva.
Are those shrimps?
Those are shrimp.
Why
shrimp? Scampi. Shrimp Scampi.
Yeah. I don't know enough about shrimp, I guess.
Could have been noodles, man. Could have been noodles.
Enough about shrimp.
Yeah.
So we have a few one question for each of you, and then one overall question here. This all started from Nick was getting called the Scamp a lot, and so at some point we called Nick just like Nick Scampy, and then it became now I'm also a Scamp, so it's Scampy time. So Aaron,
oh boy,
the five of us are stuck in a forest. We all have various injuries and won't survive. However, across the clearing, we see a... Nick, did you type it as wizard waffle? It's supposed to be a waffle.
I didn't type this question.
Never mind. Dave, what the hell? Who is getting to that waffle? Who survives and why?
Okay, so wait, like you meant to write waffle wizard instead of wizard waffle? Because the wizard waffle is the actual waffle. The wizard is the one who sells them.
Never mind. Dave is correct. Good job, Dave.
Is it a waffle or a wizard?
There's a waffle, one of your waffles. If you want to explain to people in the chat who haven't read the book.
In the Legend of there is a character called the Waffle Wizard who travels the territory selling waffles that function as healing potions. So like you buy one of his waffles.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's so everyone's favorite character. He's
one of mine.
No. Steve is the best character.
Steve is still the best. Steve is the best character. But Waffle Wizard, second.
Yeah, if you guys want a Waffle Wizard T-shirt, go to my store. But I feel like we all have various injuries and won't survive. I feel like we all tear a piece of the wizard waffle and have a piece of, because if it's a
and then all of us can die slower.
No, because like the waffle would be enough to like stitch up the wounds so they won't be like mortal wounds anymore. Like, we could probably like, do some tourniquets or whatever and like get by. We'll figure it out. But I don't know. I feel like in this moment,
you got to pick one person. We're out for ourselves.
We'd all share.
There's no friendship.
No, I reject that logic. Like we all split the waffle and we all survive. Like it's gonna be a rough go for the next little while. But if the waffle wizard is doing his thing, he would probably just magically appear with his cart and be like, "Oh, you guys are in quite a pickle, aren't you?" Well, and sell us another few waffles and it'd be just fine. So that's what I think would happen.
What if there's some spell on it that only one person can claim it? There's some magical in-world reason why only one person can
like the wizard waffles are impervious to that kind of thing. They are just healing, but they are impervious to anything else.
The cult of what was it? The noodle cult, right?
The House of Philip.
Yeah, the House of Philip. Yeah, the Phillips. What if they put a spell on it?
Well, if you remember correctly, they are averse to magic. They see magic as blasphemy. Yeah,
Dang.
so they wouldn't touch it. Yeah,
because if you haven't read The Legend of it is hilarious. Really, really good audiobook from who I think might be my favorite audiobook narrator doing indie books right now.
Adriel Brandt is phenomenal.
He does a great job
as well, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm like 80% of the way through the audiobook. It's excellent.
Thank you. Yeah, he did a great job. I'm going to hire him for the second Legend of Us, so keep your eyes peeled for that soon.
Sweet.
All right, and then our next question, Nick, you can ask this one.
All right, Rach, what is more tragic, enemies who stay enemies or lovers who stay lovers? Have there ever been books where the enemies should not have become lovers?
Fantastic question. I'd say it's they're both really tragic situations. I'd say enemies who stay enemies is more sad, because at least the lovers who stay lovers, if they're just like they're boring, but it's fine. But the enemies who stay enemies, there's just so much wasted potential there. And have there ever been books where the enemies should not have become lovers? I think it's more the opposite problem. There's too many where like the villain doesn't get the girl. Ooh, I don't
For
think. I don't think it's
example, one
hasn't
where
gone far enough.
you have tried to ship the enemies to become lovers when they should
Yeah.
not become lovers.
Exactly. So in Dave's book, I read his book before it came
You're
out.
so right. Yes, Dave's book.
Yeah. And
Yes, Gordon
yeah,
and
I will
Tobias.
always
Yes.
ship the characters that absolutely hate each other, even that
Yes.
they might just have
Nope,
they
that's
might
going up,
exchange
Dave.
one nice word. Yeah.
Joe Biden and Donald Trump should kiss.
Like
I need
Gordon
to
and
see
Tobias.
it.
There it is.
They need to admit that like there's
That's
the
your
sexual
next
tension.
viral video, Aaron.
That's right. While twerking.
As a
Oh,
wizard.
good grief.
I will say there's one book that I know that got hate for the enemies becoming lovers because it was deeply colonial, and they thought it was a little bit of a white savior colonial problem, and it got a lot of hate for being a romance
Pocahontas?
that was
Pocahontas.
so that was the only one that I can think of that had that problem.
Hmm.
Good answer.
Yes, potentially Pocahontas vibes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I could see how that would maybe not quite pass the vibes test in 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Maurice, the five of us suddenly either go bald, or if we're already bald, magically grow a mullet. Who becomes the most powerful one who will take over and become our leader?
I think this is
So
hard.
Aaron, take off your hat for this.
Yeah, I gotta.
Yeah, I know Aaron's fault.
There we go.
All bearded bros.
Now, I think just on principle alone, having hair makes you more powerful. No offense.
That's right.
fellas.
That's right. It does.
So
right,
I think
sure.
us new baldies would not be in the racing for this.
I
think
agree.
it's between the Mullet Brothers, and I just have a feeling that Dave would be too powerful with his mullet. That's why
How
the
tall
gods
are you,
took
Aaron?
it away from you because
I would
they knew.
challenge him for his power. I for sure would challenge him. There'd
How
be some
tall are
trickery.
you?
Who's taller? Taller.
It's probably Dave.
I'm 6'2".
Dave's pretty tall. Yeah.
I'm
Dave is
5'8",
tall.
so you got like a
Yeah,
full
I'm
like 6
5'7",
inches.
So Dave would be the leader. Dave,
Oh, that's
he's
so
on the top of the
unfortunate.
list right now. He's up there. He's at the very top of my people.
I hate that. I really hate that. You know,
It's
Dave
true.
being a leader. Ugh.
I had long curly hair at one point when I was
He
in
did.
college.
It's
No
true.
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen the
I
pictures.
should post that on
Yes.
Instagram.
In high school, I had the Justin Bieber swoosh. I was in a punk rock band and like was always like flinging it everywhere. So I had hair once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd be completely out of the race. If I lost all my hair, then I'd just be crying in the corner. Like there's no way I'd even try.
Honestly,
I'm not
me
I'm not
too.
contesting. I'm not
Same.
contesting for leadership
Same.
at this point.
I
Yeah,
don't
too
know.
busy crying.
You could have this like badass Furiosa thing going on with like the shaved
Yeah,
head. Like,
yeah,
that'd
it'd
be
work.
cool.
I don't think my head is the right shape for that. I don't think I have the bone structure for
The
Furiosa.
villain from
You never know.
Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, great movie by the way.
That was a
It's a
good
great movie.
You could do that. You could be what are they called? The something witches,
Ooh,
Red
I don't
Witch,
know.
Yeah,
the
I
red
don't remember.
witch or something.
Yeah.
You would be I don't know. I feel like Rach, you would be very powerful bald. You just have to get tattoos on your bald skull.
Yes.
Yeah,
Was this
yeah,
your
that's
question,
true.
Dave, or was
Like
it
war
my
paint.
question? I'm just kidding. I was
I
like, that got awkward
apologize.
silence. as
Right
the
now,
answer.
Maurice is the most powerful because he's got the long hair and the beard and
does.
the bro backwards hat and
Too
everything.
much.
Like,
Yeah,
You must be stopped.
that's it. I can't. I
Too
can't.
powerful.
I am the leader right now. No. Yeah, I think for sure it'd be Dave. But I could see us. I could also see us just doing what Rachel says because she has a British accent. So,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think that
does
kind of
make it-
paints me as a bit more of a villain, though. I'll just be like.
I
the
mean,
Bond
all the
villain.
villains in my book have British accents. So
This is what I
And
mean.
Star Wars,
You
if you've
know,
ever
we're
noticed.
evil. I think I get kicked out of the group at this point.
Kicked out.
I don't think so. No, I think Rach should be the leader. Yeah, British
Mhm.
supremacy.
That's a good
The
point.
British are just better. It's true.
Yeah.
Dave.
Take it back to the 1700s, and we'll have a whole uprising against me. I'll be King George or whatever his name is.
That's right.
throw that tea in the harbor.
That's right.
That's funny. Yeah.
And then our last question, it is not actually being asked to Dave. I just accidentally left that in. I was supposed to be asking the question. So Nick, go ahead and ask this question, not to me.
I hate you for this one, Dave. Which is a cooler idea? A history teacher being possessed by a very foggy old general, or two friends bickering and bantering while dealing with murderous ice mages?
What does foggy mean?
I don't know. Pretty terrible book ideas, I'd say, both of them.
I think it's fun. I like them.
Thanks, Rach.
So
You're so
a foggy
welcome.
old general, like basically he's possessed by this general, and like fog exudes.
I love hearing Dave's response here. I'm gonna let him go with it.
So he's literally foggy.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
It's
I thought
bound by
foggy.
fog.
I thought foggy was like, just an adjective
Bad
used to
memory?
describe that he was like airy, kind of like weird and out there. But
Oh man.
yeah,
He's
'cause
the
that's-
Yeah, I was
embodiment
going
of
for
fog.
Alzheimer's, but yeah, that too.
yeah. Oh gosh, I don't know.
I think I like the ice mages.
Yeah,
I'm a
that could be
secret
fun.
scribe, so I have to say ice mages, obviously.
Yeah,
because
it feels a
I've
bit more
read it.
D&D, having like the party members bicker while they're like also battling ice mages. That's fun. I like that.
Take that, Nick.
I hate you. I hate you.
3-0.
Dave, you definitely put more effort. That is way better of a description of your book than a description of mine. Like it's not even the general with fog. What? That doesn't even make sense.
Wait, is the general not the embodiment of fog? Was that a lie?
I don't know.
No.
I don't remember what the fog is. I read the book. Does the fog actually go? Is it outside of his mind, or is it just like the fog takes over his mind? I don't
Control
remember.
fog? Is it like a magic
Oh
thing?
my god, yeah, that's really funny. It's okay. We don't have to get. This is my book. Don't worry about it, David.
Well, we want to know. We
Yeah.
want to know.
You have to give us
No,
a
it's
synopsis now.
It's possession. Basically possessed by fog, and to take basically a mind control sort of thing.
Oh, so the fog
Yeah.
is like sentient, kind of.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
It is like
Yeah.
the old general, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Fog
So
bound.
the old general
Yeah,
is
okay.
fog.
Came
But
Is this
from.
still,
a
I'm gonna vote
spoiler?
ice
Are we in
mages, so-
spoiler territory?
No, we're not in spoiler territory.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
It sounds like that book could get in some pretty fogged up situations.
Hey, oh, that's good. I'm gonna write that down. Actually,
Hey,
I'm gonna write that down.
that was for free.
So fogged up.
Next one's gonna cost money. Yeah, fogged up.
So
Like,
Money.
we heard it here. Dave 3, Nick 0. We did a competition to see who was going to get to 50 reviews first.
Yeah, he trounced me.
I published my book a year after him.
Wasn't even
um,
close.
He had like 40 something and I had 0, and
Yep.
I wiped the floor
You
with
did.
him in that one
You
as
did.
well.
Yeah, you did. I got
I'm
smoked.
sorry.
It's okay. And, losing to Dave is tough, but I think I'll be all right. It took a while for me to get over it, though.
Nick's problem
Wow.
is that he needs to actually publish book 2.
Well, I guess that's true.
just catching so many strays today. Like you
I
guys
really
aren't even
am.
focusing,
Jeez.
just having a go at each other.
I know.
Dave,
The
bring it
comments over
down.
here. Yeah, sheesh.
So speaking of sequels, back to our other questions. Nick, I think you had a question for Rage.
I did. So yeah, specifically for Rage, but then we'll open it up to the floor afterward. So as we all know, sequels are notoriously difficult to market, especially compared to the original. Rach, how did your strategy for pre-launch, your social media strategy for your sequels differ from your first book, if it differed at all?
Yeah, good question. I think I still definitely prioritize the arcs, but it got progressively easier to get more arcs as I went on because I just had a pool of people that had read the first one. So that part got easier. And then I don't think I think the way that I marketed book 2 was by emphasizing that. So book 1 is it's 90% fantasy, 5 to 10% romance. And they're still enemies at the end of the book. That's not really a spoiler, but sort of. And then in book 2, there's a lot more development of the romantic relationship, and there's found family and a lot of other like favorite tropes that I could use. So I think my strategy was to try and tell people the next book's better. So try and get as many people through the door as I could. I maybe had, I think it was only 4 months gap between book 1 coming out and book 2 coming out. So it was quite easy to get people to sign up straight away after reading the first one and knowing that they didn't have to wait too long. And I already had the pre-order set up before I launched the first book. And to be honest, I was told to do that. That was advice that I was given on the internet, famously. And I don't know how much it actually helped. As in, when that book actually came out, I had like 60 pre-orders, but not that many came in the first month. Maybe like 5 or 6. Like if I'd waited, it wouldn't have actually harmed anything. But it is neater to have a book where at the end there's just on launch days, sign up here for the next one. But yeah, that was probably the strategy.
The third one was even easier?
Yeah, it got progressively easier. I got more ARC signups as I went. I had more of a presence. I got more newsletter people, I think. And then with this book, it's easier again. I'm nervous about this book because obviously it's a completely different world, completely different characters. That part is harder, but everything else is easier, I would say.
1,700 arcs.
That is a lot. That's well done. Well done. So
What,
we'll open it up
3,000?
to
What's that? Sorry?
Is it 3,000 arcs, you said?
3,400 people have signed up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I said 1,700. I don't know where I got that number from.
That was me. Like Legend of was down to 1,700. Yeah, Rachel is blowing me out of the water. Like
pretty double.
It was one video. It was one video.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That is incredible.
Got very lucky.
Yeah.
So we'll open it up to Maurice. How about we go to you next? So as you prepare for the sequel to Cello's Gate, as we know it's going to be a series, what is your approach to promoting that when you're ready to start promoting the sequel?
So the first book is a lot of like trial and error. So basically, what I'm going to do is just do everything that worked for the first book and not do everything. Yes. That's book 2. You heard it here first. The exclusive. No, I think I'm doing a lot of work to keep my brand going because I came in with I was pretty big on Bookstagram and TikTok for about a year, and then I took a year and a half off because I had some health stuff and I was really focused on finishing Cello's Gate, and then so I came back at the beginning of this year and I was like, oh man, okay, I got to get back on. I got on the week that TikTok was supposed to go kaput. And I was like, I got to start fucking marketing this thing. So I started up again in I think it was February. I'm gonna try not to do that again because starting from basically from scratch is really hard when you after you take that break. Going from I was getting so many views and then I was getting 20. So like that's rough. But I'm working a lot on like keeping my brand going and consistent and regular and building so that hopefully by the time I get to book 2, I'll have more of an established social presence. But I'm also doing a lot of teasing, right? So I have I kind of operate with my marketing strategy for book 1, almost like I have all these milestones that should lead up to the title reveal for book 2, and then it's basically going to have kind of a natural segue. But the thing about series is you always have to promote book 1. Like book 1 is so important. If you stop promoting book 1, nobody's going to read book 2. So like I don't know, it's all linked. I don't know. This is my plan. It's to just fucking run with it, like I don't have anything formal. Yeah, but I'm 25% into book 2. That is an exclusive. There you go.
Heck yeah.
Well, bang.
Exclusive drops here on Two Scamps.
I will say I thought it was going to be a
Thank
lot
you, Shane.
easier to market my trilogy once I could just say it was a complete trilogy. And I really
Yeah.
thought that was going to make it so much simpler that everyone that, because there are people that say I'm not going to read it until it's all out.
Yeah.
Turns out that wasn't, it's not any easier to market it with all 3 books out. I mean, it probably is. There is probably an element that more people are being more willing to pick it up, but I feel like I haven't noticed as much of a spike as I thought I was going to have.
Yeah.
No. Aaron, on to you.
Well, shoot, I'm going to be honest, this isn't something I've thought about a ton, It's because, I think 25% of the way into the first draft of the second Legend of so it's still like pretty new, but I'm looking at probably like April or May of next year to release it, once the manuscript's all done. But I've been getting some good ideas as I've been listening to you guys. I'll probably do similar to what I did with the first Legend of just I'll revisit my spreadsheet to see like who reviewed it and who really enjoyed it and say, hey, you ready for book 2? And just kind of like, rely on the same people who have become fans of the first book to see if they want to read the second one and like post a review before it comes out. But I think the momentum of this first book being as so lovingly taken into the indie fantasy scene as it has gives me more ammunition to kind of like go after bigger names. And, and like bigger YouTubers, bigger influencers say, hey, like this has been getting some momentum. Let me send you the first book. Like, let me, do the, I don't know. So it's something I'm going to be thinking about in the next little while. But, like as I'm writing this second book, I just want to make sure that it lives up to the expectations of the first one, because like the first book is so funny and so heartwarming and the people love the characters so much. But even as I'm writing the second book, the stakes are higher. Like the fate of the territory is actually on the line. And these characters that we love so much are dealing with deeper things emotionally than they were in the first book. So it's like, I still want that comedy to be landing and I still want the laughs and like the silliness to be there, but also this deeper emotional attachment to the characters that we feel as readers. So it's a challenge to write this particular sequel. My other sequels that I've written are like better than the first books by far. Like there's so much more fun, but this one it'll still be great, but it's a challenge, so that's where I'm at with that.
I feel that I'm doing the same thing right now. I'm about 20% into my first draft of my book 2, and like book 1's pretty funny, and it's like I wouldn't call it just a comedy.
It's all right.
It's got a lot of comedy in there. And book 2 right now is a lot more serious as I'm writing it. I'm like, I probably need, and like the novella I published was a lot more serious, and I can't just totally drop my brand here. Rach is still mad at me about the end of the novella.
I'm so mad about that novella. Like, I went in hoping for a lighthearted adventure, and it was just like crushing. It was the most depressing thing I'd read in so long.
Oh my gosh!
You're
so we're all
selling
about 20% into our first draft of our second books in a series. We should do that thing where we all try to have our kids at the same time. And we just like do like a group promotion. Like that would be dope.
I mean, it could help.
But y'all have to push back because there's no way I'm gonna have it done by April or May.
We gotta push it back. Hey, I'm always happy to push that back.
Your first drafts by the end of, I don't know, November or something. That could be
I'm definitely going for spring or summer release. Sorry, dude, because we're gonna have like a waffle truck at the bookstore selling wizard waffles.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
it's not locked in, but
round.
there's a popular waffle truck in the Salt Lake City area called Waffle Love, and I'm gonna be like, hey, listen, people will love it. I'm gonna pitch them, and I'm sure if they don't show up, I'll be shocked. So, but the fans will love it.
My cover artist isn't available until the summer. 2026.
Oh, damn. That's a long lead up.
Yeah. That's worth it to wait though for like the consistency and the quality. Yeah. Like that's worth it.
Our guy is quite busy, Maurice. Yes.
Man, he's doing all the Meltdown. He's doing all the broken binding.
He's done everything.
Like, get out of there. What?
That's
he wasn't doing all that when I hired him the first time. So.
No, me neither. No, he's certainly a busy guy.
Speaking of busy people, one of the questions, and I know Maurice, Aaron, you were talking about this. What is your strategy for reaching out to creators on Instagram, TikTok, etc.? And asking them or, sending them books or asking them to collaborate with you on something. I know that's one of the things for me. I've kind of like what Rach was talking about. If someone has over like 200,000 or 2,000 followers or 3,000 followers, I'm like, they might be too big. They probably like, who the hell is this guy and why is he talking to me? So I go for like I've always tried only marketed the smaller people because I am, I don't have any confidence. Okay.
Man, Dave, that's the imposter syndrome talking. The worst thing they can say is no. It's not if they're gonna you're gonna ask them and they'll be like, oh, you know what? Fuck yeah, I'm gonna ruin your career now, guy. Send me a message. No, nobody's gonna do that. Don't be pushy, but just ask. Just send them a message. Be yourself. That's what they need. That's what they want. Compliment them. That always helps. But I mean, really, just be yourself and ask them.
Totally. Yeah, I've just had a message in my craft a message in my notes app, and then I'll just add one sentence, which is something specific to their content or something that an element that I think that I saw that you gave this book 5 stars. My book's kind of similar, or and they don't always reply, but I don't always reply to messages I get. It doesn't mean if I don't reply, it doesn't mean I hate the messenger. I'm just like, I'm a bit busy. Maybe I'll get back to it later and completely forget. But
yeah, totally.
Yeah, and I've definitely done a thing where I've messaged people that have 100,000 followers, and obviously they don't message back, but it's fine. Doesn't really matter. I was going to do an article recently. I'm going to do an article about my ARC experience, just for a blog / in general to put out to the indie community, and I'm basically trying to test the hypothesis of is there such a thing as of sending out too many ARCs, and is there a point at which it hinders you, or is it always positive? And obviously using the 3,000 ARC situation to see how that goes. And I reached out on TikTok to 5 New York Times bestselling authors to ask them how many ARCs of their books got sent out by the publisher, and 4 of them didn't reply, but 1 of them did. And it's it's useful. So people do reply that you wouldn't expect to reply sometimes. So yeah, it's interesting. Just shoot your shot. The worst you can do is get ignored.
Yeah, I'm going to echo what Maurice and Rachel have said. I mean, you don't get if you don't ask. Simple enough. I mean, in public relations and, for my nonprofit stuff, there's lots of phone calls and emails that go unanswered, but it doesn't hurt to ask, just look at their content, see what they're posting about, see what books they're enjoying, say, hey, I wrote this. It's kind of like this other thing that you enjoyed. Can I send you a free copy in exchange for a review whenever you get around to it? No pressure. Just let me know if it sounds interesting to you. Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of the messages that I sent out to get Legend of up and going. And most of the time people were just happy that you thought of them. Oh, you'd like to offer me an ARC? You thought of me. That's so cool. And, whether they have 500 followers or 100,000, you might get a reply, it's just give it a shot,
Yep. I think that message is being heard loud and clear here. You have to just not be afraid to reach out to these people. I think that's really what it is. I think a lot of authors, I mean, myself too, back when I was pre-launch, it's tough. You have to break through and get the courage and summon up the courage to actually reach out to influencers, creators, bookstagrammers, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. Next question here. This one is for Maurice. So you touched on this a little bit earlier, Maurice. Have you seen success using the TikTok shop?
Yes. Am I the only one on TikTok shop?
Through my research, yes. But yeah.
Okay. So yes, TikTok shop. I also do my own shop. I have my shop on my website, and shipping's cheaper there, just so everybody knows. But TikTok shop is, let me say, it's actually a lot simpler to use than you'd think. But the biggest thing is you can create promotional content on TikTok, and they will let you tag it, and they tend to push those a little further when they're testing. So if you're doing that, it really helps with engagement. Also, I've sold 100 books through TikTok shop. So nice. That's 100 books I wouldn't have sold otherwise, So it's right there. It's easy to use. Just because you don't, and this is the thing, just because you don't use Facebook doesn't mean people don't use Facebook. Just because you don't buy on TikTok shop doesn't mean that there aren't millions of people who do. And so that's just a potential audience that you're missing if you're not doing it. The downside is when you have a commercial account, you lose access to some features that you have as a creator. That sucks. But I mean, I do mostly original content anyway, so it's not that big a deal. I don't do a lot of lip syncs or anything. So
Gotcha. And Rachel and Aaron, do you plan to use the TikTok shop at any point? Maybe now that you hear what Marisa said about it, but what are your plans for it?
Rachel, you were holding up your finger to say something.
Yeah, I was like holding up my hand because I had a point, and then I've kind of forgotten what it was. Oh, I think it was on the TikTok shop thing. I just didn't want to interrupt, but I was like, I have something I wanted to say on this. I've seen people that have done really well through TikTok shop recently, and it's largely through doing it on TikTok lives. So if you have the ability to go live and then just like honestly just hold your book up, and then people will come into the chat and say, oh, what's your book about? And you might have to pitch your book like 40 times within an hour. But yeah, there's this new writer that I follow called Callum, and he only launched his book about a month ago, and he's already sold like 60 through TikTok shop just from showing up, doing lives 3 times a week for an hour and a half.
You're so right.
The thing is, I think if you're thinking about doing a TikTok live, I would start it. I've only done 3 myself, but I would recommend doing it when you have something else that you can do at the same time. Like if you're wrapping a few orders, that's a really good thing because you're already sort of doing something a bit mindless anyway. You can chat while you're doing it, because the idea of just turning the camera on and like waiting for someone to pop up in the comments feels terrifying. But if you've got something that you're getting on with and you can talk about that while you're doing it, and then also you might sell a few books. So that would just be a little piece of recommendation if you're using TikTok shop. And to answer your question, I'm planning to use TikTok shop. So my books are on TikTok shop, but I'm not selling them. Another bookshop called Before You Read is selling them on her shop, because I just didn't want to do it and didn't get into it. And it helps me because I don't have to be on there myself, and she's just promoting my books for me, which is very helpful. But for the next one, I am considering putting it on TikTok shop myself. I think I'm just nervous about because my current branding is quite like, I'm a writer that shares writing things. I am worried about doing too much paid promotional content with like, because it comes up with the symbol of add to your shopping bag, and it just feels like that isn't exactly. I'm nervous about doing that with my audience, but I'm considering it because it feels like a free win.
1 in 10. The rule of 10. So like, if you do it 1 in 10, you're not gonna exhaust your audience.
Yeah.
So that's just the general rule with marketing products.
Or if I only do it on lives, then that would be fine.
Yeah.
Also.
Then you won't exhaust them. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would like to sell on TikTok. I just haven't looked enough into it of like logistically what it would entail, because I've talked to Zach Diamanti about it, and from what he was telling me, it sounds like, and Maurice, you can confirm this, it's like you can only sell stuff on TikTok shop that you have on hand. Like you have to have your own inventory. Okay, so I can't like connect it to my Shopify and Book Vault to do because that would be so nice, because I mean logistically that would help a ton, and I could just sell it crazy.
I think you actually can. I think you can, and that I've had emails through saying you can now connect your like Wix shop or your Shopify shop to TikTok. So I would look into that because you might be able to link the products.
I just don't know if they have a pretty strict
like shipping, right?
Shipping rules for TikTok shop. So if you're printing on demand, you might not be able to meet those standards. I think that's what the issue is.
Because I've noticed
I think you'd still have to have stock. Yeah, you'd probably still have to have stock on hand.
Because when someone orders something on my Shopify that's connected to Book Vault, it takes Book Vault like a few days to print it and then ship it. So it takes a little while. But I mean, if I have copies of The Legend of here on hand, I could sign them and sell them. I can be at the post office in 10 minutes. So it's something I'd like to do. I just haven't done it yet. Like it's just another thing on a long list of stuff I should do to promote my books that I haven't done.
Oh man, yeah, 1000%. We all have that. I have a big dry erase board in my office that's just like all the shit I need to do, and it's like get a PO box. I'm just shipping with my address.
I need to do that as well. I just ship with my address right now.
Me too. Yeah. Oops.
Yeah. I don't put my return address. I'm just like Salt Lake City. You don't need to know where I live. Like you get the zip code, bucko.
Like the zip code. That's all you get.
If anybody shows up on my house, I'm gonna freak out.
I did have a reader come to town to visit me.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
That's dope. Though. I mean,
he's a guy who has traveled. He met I don't know why anyone would want to meet ZB Steele, but he met ZB Steele the day after me, and he met JL Odom the day before. So he was like driving through and meeting with some of what he called us the new cabal of fantasy
Nice.
authors.
That's fun.
It was quite
But
endearing.
yeah, I probably need to do TikTok shop as well. I sell on my
Mhm.
website, and I do okay with that. I sell more physicals through that than Amazon, but I have to make content like go to my website, and it would be nice to just be like, boom, it's there.
Yeah.
It's pretty slick. I can't recommend enough like putting your own shop together. If
Mhm.
only just to sell signed books. Like I sell more signed books than I thought that I would, and
Mhm.
the margins are
Same.
huge. So do
People
it.
love
I didn't
signed
think it
books.
was.
Oh yeah,
I didn't think it was going to be a thing, and then I just kept getting asked to like, "Hey, I want a signed copy." I'm like, "Well, I don't get them, like
yeah.
I don't get them in, so like I can't send them to you. I can't do that." And I was like, I guess I'll just try it, and I have sold way more signed books than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Same
also
here.
knowing that people are willing to spend that much on shipping, like obviously I'm in the UK and I get orders from the US and Australia, and I find that absolutely baffling that someone's gonna spend double what they spent on the book
Yeah.
to get it shipped to their house. Like, they're spending £40 for one
Wow.
book, and that is baffling.
Yeah, I haven't gotten an international order yet, but oof, when that happens, it's gonna be expensive.
I think I've gotten like 6 or 7 of those, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, the book's $15 or whatever, and the shipping's $30, and it's like,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I understand the people who buy on Amazon or whatever because the shipping's crazy.
Yeah.
You
But
have
It's
to.
wild.
You
signed
have
books
to.
are fun.
I mean, I don't know if you guys use Pirate Ship, but I swear by
Yeah.
that for all my shipping, just if anyone's not
Oh.
I've
aware of it.
started using Pirate Ship because
Pirate
it's
Ship is
cheaper
awesome.
for all of the international. I feel
Yeah.
like media mail's cheaper if you just go to the post office than on
Mhm.
You
Pirate
can't
Ship.
get media mail for international.
I don't know whether
Yeah.
either
Yeah.
of
No,
those
for
exist in the UK,
in
but
like for
yeah.
in
Yeah,
country, your media mail is like $1 cheaper. But for all your international, Pirate Ship is so much better than
Yeah.
Okay,
trying
That's
to
good
use
to know.
other stuff.
Highly recommend checking it out. Yeah, it's good stuff.
good deal.
All right, so we'll move on here. So Aaron, this one is for you.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna go back in time a little bit here. So you worked on your first ever novel, Foreordained at age 15 and published it at 22. Yeah, that's right. I read your bio.
Oh, yikes.
How has the social media landscape for authors changed since then? Because I'm assuming that was not last week.
No, dude. I mean, it's
Dear.
it's absolutely completely different because Foreordained was published in 2014. Like
Mhm.
it's been 11 years. And I was a dumb college student who published that book with no editor, no marketing plan. I was just so psyched to get my book out to the world, and I'm amazed that I got any 5-star reviews on that book. But yeah, I mean, it's completely just absolutely changed. And it's changing even faster now. I feel like with the social media world, like you're always playing catch up on like trying to keep up with the algorithm and like what the algorithm is rewarding, and keeping your eyes peeled for any new platforms that are kind of like coming up through the grapevine. And it's a completely different world. It's so different. And I'm very different as a writer too, because like Foreordained, I kind of classified it as Christian fantasy. It's like the Chronicles of Narnia meets Game of Thrones. So it's got kind of like the Christian symbolism and all that mixed in. But now I'm writing like silly, irreverent fantasy comedies. So it's like I've changed a lot as a writer too. So it's just a lot of changes in 11 years.
Would you say it's gotten better and easier for authors on social media? Or has it gotten harder?
Easier? Dude, well, truthfully, I wasn't doing any marketing for myself at all, like 11 years ago. Like I wasn't on my radar. I wasn't thinking about it. But it's hard now. It's definitely difficult, but it's tough for me to gauge like if it's more difficult now than it is then. I think there's definitely a lot more tools available to us now because indie publishing has gotten a lot more respected, and there's more companies that have kind of sprouted up to service our needs as independent authors. So I definitely think there's no better time to write and market your own book than now, and it's only going to continue getting better.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there's a really low barrier to entry right now, but
Yeah.
it's also really hard to get beyond how much it's saturated. I think everyone says it's saturated, but more and more people hear about self-publishing in a positive light, and more people are doing it. So it's harder to get your book ahead of other people's in their 1,000-long TBR, but it's easier to initially get a decent product out there than it used to be, I think.
Yeah, you're right. There's definitely a lot more competition now, for sure. So
barrier to entry is so low that, I mean, there was, and we have a constant kind of, as a group, the 5 of us have this, we're fighting stereotypes that indie books have garnered over the last decade. And it's that they're garbage, like, it's because it became so easy to publish, people were publishing everything. Like Aaron, I mean, you were publishing an unedited manuscript. Not that you're the problem, but maybe
no,
you're
listen,
part of the problem.
It's it's like a 20-year-old writing a book. It was pretty good, but like I'm critical of it. Some people love it, but you know.
Reincarnation of Terry Pratchett. I just saw that. Yeah, I mean, so we're fighting that stereotype no matter what. I mean, I have people who give my book a 5-star rating, but they have to mention that it's indie. Like, it doesn't, they don't just call it a book. It is always an indie book.
It's
I am
5 stars
always
for indie. Yeah.
For an indie. It's good for an indie book, and it's like, oh man, this indie book is better than a lot of traditional books. And it's like, oh, you didn't have to, I mean, okay. Like, I'm not marketing my book as an indie book. It just is an indie book. But we have that stereotype that we have to fight, because there are, unfortunately, a lot of bad books. And there are, like Rachel said, TBRs are fucking long. And if you're not, it's hard to skip the line. You have to be like, you have to have a really good concept, and people have to be gripped by it immediately. That's why we all have these taglines. Firefly meets Indiana Jones meets Final Fantasy. That makes people go like, okay, I'll read that, But yeah, I have a whole, anyway. That's a lot we could talk about if we wanted to get crazy into the industry, but
I think like I published my master's, like I have an MFA in fiction writing that I did in 2007 to 2009 and wrote like literary fiction. And then I published what was my master's thesis a few years later, self-pub through Amazon. I think I did it in 2017. And like, I liked it, sure. But then whenever I didn't, and I self-published a little short story I'd written also in graduate school, and kind of didn't do anything for a while. And then I wrote what is my first fantasy novel, and was kind of like, okay, this stuff that I published before is different by a lot, and I'm publishing under the same name. I'm just going to unpublish that stuff, because is it good? I mean, I liked it when I wrote it. It was good for my master's program, but big difference there. So like, I unpublished that stuff and I don't really talk about it anymore. So technically I'm a debut author. I love one of my favorite things is how, speaking of, sorry guys, gonna mention ZB Steel again. But like, everyone constantly talks about his debut novel, Whispers of the Storm, and it's hilarious because it's not his debut.
It's not his debut.
He wrote a novel in 2023 that is available and out there, and like, it's called For a Few Days More. And he's always like, okay, it was a nice comment they had, but I'm not a debut author.
Rachel, what were you saying? You were about to say something.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, I think it comes back into the branding conversation of, at what point do you have to stay in the same niche? Like, within fantasy, do you have to stay in this specific type of fantasy? Do you have to, like, if I wrote a book that wasn't romantic fantasy now, I think I would lose most of my audience. So it's 100%. Just, you want to keep your Goodreads page to be all of one genre. Like, do you have to start different pen names to have a whole different brand? It's tricky.
Guys, I hope not, because like, I mean, The Legend of is a fantasy comedy. That's my best book so far. I mean, the one that people gravitate to the most to. But also, like, I do collections of stories and poems and weird third things, And my first fantasy trilogy was Christian fantasy, like Christian epic fantasy. And then I have like a superhero satire, like a couple of books, that were super fun. But I have ideas for all sorts of stuff across different genres. So it's like, I don't want to be one of those authors that just writes one genre all the time, because I think I'd go nuts. But, maybe there is a problem in that. It's nice to have different genres that you write to say, oh, depending on what you like, there's probably something I've written that you'll enjoy. But I think it does help your marketability when it's like, oh, Aaron N. Hall is a fantasy comedy writer. Yeah. So
I think
I don't know.
The smartest thing to do is to do one thing. But I think, we'd all go a little bit mad if you didn't vary it at all. Like, I also want to write like horror and like fantasy comedy, and I will put it under the same pen name. But I feel like, if you're just gonna go purely off like business decisions and want to be mercurial about it, it probably is write the same thing.
Probably.
I think we're probably going to do like 2 more questions before we wrap things up, because we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes.
You can believe it. Yeah.
Going by so fast.
Dave, if you want to start taking the next ones, go for it. I've been talking a lot.
I think I'm going to ask. So what we did was we came up with serious questions and goofy questions. We do have a few more serious questions, and we're going to finish off with some of those. So first off, we all know that social media can impact mental health. How do you decide on your threshold for the day or the week or the month or the year? Like, how do you decide whenever it's just like, this is actively impacting my mental health and I need to get off this for a while?
I just try to listen to my body. If I just feel like I've been on social media for too long for the day, it's like, okay, let's put this down and read something that's not on a screen. That kind of thing. But it's hard. It's really hard to kind of like bring back my usage, because it's easy for me to just doom scroll, so it's a challenge.
Yeah,
100%. I agree with that. I'm an overdoer. I think I have that message, that kind of alarm in my head that's like, if you stop, then you failed. You're gonna fail. Like, there's this this need I have to be online, and anytime I want to give myself a break, I'm like, but if that's like, if I take today off, how many, I could have missed that viral video, that I could have missed that person that just needed that one more chance to see my book, and they would have bought it. I think that's hard. As people who are this deep as we are, we put a lot of work into this, and it feels like we have to keep pushing, we have to keep going. That said, I have a migraine disorder, so like, I know when I'm doing bad, when I need to, like Aaron said, listen to my body, because I'll start having daily migraines, and I'll push through that often because you need to. But there are times, like, I just took a 2-week break, and it's like, because I needed it. I was exhausted, and I told everybody, hey, I'm gonna be back, and it wasn't bad, and nothing happened. The world didn't burn down. I didn't lose all my engagement. Sometimes you need to take a break and give yourself, you're number one. Give yourself that break.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, no, I agree with both of you. I think mine's quite mood based. If I don't feel like making content on a day, I just won't. And I think I'm doing enough other things with, since I've started, I've released quite a lot of books. And so I feel like the release schedule makes me less stressed about, I need to keep up momentum, because I feel like I'm trying to keep momentum in other ways. But another tactic is that I think most of us are probably, I don't know whether this is true actually. I think a lot of writers are introverts, but so that makes it very difficult when you're creating content. But I find TikTok quite helpful for that, because I can dissociate from the numbers, and also, so if I see that I've got like 400,000 views on a video, that's not people. Those aren't people. That's just a number. So that's helpful. I just pretend people aren't real. That's one piece of advice. And then also, I think I've also been quite lucky with my presence on Book Talk, in that I rarely get mean comments. It happens sometimes. Obviously, everyone's got that, like 1 in 100 comments will be really off the wall and mean. Like I got one of my TikTok lives the other day where someone said I looked easy to cheat on, which was just so left field. I was like,
What?
Where does that even come
Oh my
from?
god!
It was weird
Oh my
enough that it was
God.
funny.
What a-
Give us a
Wow.
name,
What a-
Rachel. Give us
what
a
a
name.
You're
bird.
gonna get them.
They
Jesus.
came in, dropped that comment, and left.
What?
Yeah, these people. Yes, you
worst
get
I've
weird stuff
gotten
like that, and
is-
then obviously
I
you get
pity
I
like
didn't
them.
know.
yeah,
I
people being
didn't
like,
know
"Okay, you
foreheads
trash."
get that big.
Sorry?
Oh
And I was
my
like-
god!
I was like,
Wow.
Yeah.
Someone
That's
told me I
hilarious.
looked like Wish version of Andrew Tate, and it's honestly one of the funniest things
Oh,
I've
that's
ever heard.
Oh. Okay, that's
don't.
pretty funny.
that's hilarious too.
That is pretty funny
Yeah.
though. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do
I'm
think
sorry.
I get.
Anyway,
I think I
Negative
get maybe
stuff
like more
on-
comments on my appearance than
Well,
maybe a man would
as
get
a
in the
woman
same
online,
space.
your experience is so
Yeah.
fucking different than ours.
Yeah.
for sure.
1000%. That sucks. I'm
So-
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you obviously get some comments, but I can usually laugh them off. So you just have to I don't know. You have to water off a duck's back and just dissociate from it and
Yeah.
realize that everyone's just trolling you. But yeah, just don't post if you don't want to post. Like it shouldn't be. Don't have Morris's thing of absolute fear of failure. Otherwise, I feel like the posting 3 times a day is so much. I'm not surprised that you had to take 2 weeks off. That's crazy.
It's a thing, you know. Is it exhausting or is it fun? It's got to be both.
Yeah.
Because if it's not fun, don't do it. That's kind of my motto with life. So yeah, I'm okay to be tired as long as I'm still having fun doing it. You know.
Yeah, and then you get the sweet
love
validation of the one
Mhm.
video that takes off and does well, and then you just coast off of that high for like a month. It's great.
Unlike you, I crave the audience. My body needs it. So
I
like,
see. Okay.
I'm an extrovert through and through. I like, it gives me life.
It charges
to
you
be
up. Yeah.
seen. Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, finding an extroverted author is like finding a purple elephant. I'm like, whoa, what? Really? You exist?
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Your
see.
dog is
Dave
high,
is
Dave.
a little distracted.
My dog
by-
is like, you have not been messing. You have been talking for too long, and that's not fun. A minute ago, she was over on the couch, like knocking everything off of it and
Oh,
rolling
no.
around because she wanted to, show me that she was there.
What a magnificent creature.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna do one more question. Nick, you wanna close us out?
Ooh. All right. One more question here. What is this is for everybody here, by the way, so we can go around the room. What is the most important piece of advice you'd give an author getting started on social media? Let's start with Aaron.
Have fun.
That's
Yeah.
good advice.
I just want to, like what Maurice said like a few seconds ago, like, it's okay to be tired if you're having fun. Like that resonates with me so deep. I love that so much. Do everything you can to make it feel like fun. Like to make it, if it feels like work and it's just draining you every time you do it, then like you got to figure something else out. Like make sure you're having fun while you're making content and trying to reach your audience.
I like that. I like that a lot. Maurice, let's go to you next.
I always get the same advice to people when they ask me, like, how do you do it? Consistency and quality. Both of those things are super important when being a writer, but also when posting stuff online and being on social media. Consistency is important because otherwise you can't build traction. And quality is important because people are not going to follow you if you put out garbage, and that's just what it is. You got to put out good stuff that people want to see. We're on social media because we're providing value. That's what you're doing as a content creator. But if you're not providing value, there's no reason for anyone to follow you. So
I like it. Good stuff. All right, Rach, off to you.
Yeah, I will go with, if you're starting out on TikTok, I would say don't fear the 200 view jail, because the way that their algorithm works there is quite different, and they will push you out to it's 200 new people. It tends to like test you in each video you put out against new people. So I think that's an interesting one, because I think people think that it's the same 200 people watching, but it's probably a new 200 people each time, which is a lot more than you'll get exposure to on other forms of social media. So don't fear that, just keep plugging through it. And then, just to compound on what the others have said, I think if you don't know what to make, There's the three things. It's educate, inspire, and what's the other one? Entertain. Yeah. So try and pick one of those, and even if you just find like one fun fact that you think might be educational about books or about whatever your topic you want to go for, you could just make a 1-minute video talking about a fact that you've learned, and that's a video and that's content. Yeah, that'd be my advice.
Great.
All right. Well,
What about
how
y'all?
about each one of you tell us where we can find you and your work, where we can buy your books, etc. Just as one last little sales pitch. We'll go backwards this time. So, Rach, you're first.
Okay, good. I actually didn't want to finish, so that's perfect. Yeah, so I write under R.A. Sandpiper. My name is Rachel. Rach, like, call me either one. But this book, To Touch a Silent Fury, this isn't reversed, so you just have to read backwards. And it comes out on the 5th of September. You can add it to your TBR. It has dragons and Marriage of Convenience, if either of those work for you, and it's epic and it's dual POV and it's fun, and that comes out soon. And then I have a completed trilogy out which starts with A Pocket of Lies, and that's a thief who just gets into a whole world of trouble, and it kind of doesn't end for 3 whole books, but also romantic, but very slow burn, so not very romantic in the first one. So there are people that don't like romance in their books that have enjoyed the first one. So those, yeah, that's me. I'm done.
And your audiobooks, you've got 2 of those out now, and they're narrated by someone who
Helen
did a
Keeley.
character in Baldur's Gate.
Correct. Helen Keeley,
Cool.
who plays the Night Song in Baldur's Gate 3.
Wow.
She
so
narrates my
sick.
audiobooks. Yeah, it's really fun. It's a good flex. So the first 2 are out, and the third one comes out, I think, in September. But yeah, she's doing the whole trilogy, and she's fantastic. And sometimes she messages me, and then I feel great. I'm like, wow, Helen Keeley, you just messaged me, and I've played the game that you voiced. So
All right, and then now Maurice.
Rach, you are flipped for me.
oh, that's so fun. Okay, I'm not flipped for me.
Am I flipped for
So-
y'all? Can y'all read
Yeah,
this?
you are.
Oh, yeah,
I can
yeah.
see that.
What?
I can read that.
Yeah, I can read
You're
it just
making me
fine.
look.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
convenient.
I'm mirrored for me, but not for y'all. Okay,
That's right.
Yeah.
cool. That's good to know that I look like a gremlin.
Yeah,
on
they're all
y'all's
the right way
screen.
round, but I'm confused.
My book is Cello's Gate, The Sky Pirates of Imperia 1. It's about sky pirates, and it's a science fantasy novel a la Star Wars, a la Dune, a la Red Rising. You can buy it anywhere books are bought. So Barnes & Noble online, Amazon, my shop on my website. Go to my link tree, it's there. You can also get it on the TikTok shop. It's available there. You can also get it on Libby, and you can go to your local library and request it. I've had several people get my book listed in their library, which I think is just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, that is really cool. Yeah.
So like, go to your library, ask them for it, even if you already have it, even if you buy it, and then do it all. You can buy this, you can buy the ebook, you can buy both and read them together. I think that's cool if you want to buy 2 copies. And
Buy more. Buy more.
yeah, buy more. Like, buy 2 paperbacks, give 1 out. I also have an audiobook coming out in the fall, so look forward to that. But yeah, that's oh, I'm Maurice. I don't know if I said that.
Thanks, Maurice.
Later, this is Maurice, and then Aaron.
Is my image mirrored, or is this look
No, good.
correct?
Yeah, we can see it. We can read it.
The Legend of the fantasy comedy, and I wrote it, and it's really good, and it's getting great reviews. You guys should go get it. So yeah, I got a website, aaronandhall.com. There you can find my store. My store is where you get the best prices on all my books. It's going to be more expensive everywhere else, but you can get my books everywhere else. The books are available worldwide. Get them on Amazon if you're fine with putting money in Jeff Bezos's pocket, like, no judgment. But yeah, go check it out. It's getting tons of great reviews, and people are falling in love with it. So thanks for everybody who's already read it.
And I'm a horrible person because I have these physical copies of the other people's, and I don't have Legend of yet, even though it's a great
Dude,
book.
you're good. You're good. I mean,
Terrible.
dude, you were one of the people I reached out to before it came out, and
You are.
read it before it.
Oh.
Yeah, so you were one of the people. Like you're good, dude. Yeah, we're good.
will
We're
say-
Gucci.
I will say this too. We are all rated over, our average ratings are over 4.3 stars. on
Oh, look at
Goodreads.
that. Look
All
at
three of
us.
them. So
Look at us.
All of my books
Bleak.
overall bring me to like a 4.2 on Goodreads, but
Uh-oh.
Legend of is like 4.35.
is over. Yeah.
So yeah,
Look at us.
forward
Look at us.
Well, I got to
Look at
go
this
in
bot.
and rate Nick 1 with like 25 burner accounts to make that.
You know what? I
Dave,
could use some more reviews.
That's
Like, yeah, just do it.
blasphemy.
Everyone in the chat, read Nick's book. He needs more reviews.
that's good.
It's all
What's
good.
it called again?
We all do. We all do. Go
Nick's
review.
book
Yeah,
Review everywhere.
everyone.
Oh, that's mine.
Fogbound.
Yeah. Funnily
Looks
enough, because
dope.
I'm packing to
It looks
move,
good.
so I actually don't have any copies here to show except this like damaged one that I spilled water on. So
You
that's
can
Yeah,
Green
read it
yeah.
screen.
anyway,
Your
'cause
green
Oh,
screen
yeah, my
is
green screen.
flying out.
But
Yeah.
I have this signed copy right here.
Oh, look at
It
that.
is a
Beautiful.
really fun
Yeah.
classic fantasy adventure with a group of kind of like an unwilling hero who's a history teacher who's forced to actually like go out and be a hero with a group of other people. They go on a quest. There's a very creepy villain called the Boil-Faced Man. I read this last year and it was one of my favorite books of 2024.
Sick.
Nick is an awesome
Appreciate
guy, and he actually supposedly has written book 2 and just needs to like revise it some. But we're gonna get a book 2 at some point, and I'm very excited
Eventually.
for it when it actually
Eventually.
does come out.
Fogbound. Let me ask you, the history teacher, is he like a modern history teacher? Because that's what I imagined. And
Yeah,
the question is that he was like a cardigan wearing,
No,
That's what
way
I
back
imagined
when.
too.
Chinos. Yeah.
No, not a
Okay,
modern
that's a
history.
different vibe. He's like an
very
old, a medieval
Old-
history
yes.
teacher.
Yes.
Not he teaches medieval history. He is
Correct.
in the medieval times teaching
Teaching history. Yes.
ancient history.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Essentially.
see, that's very different. You really sold him under the river there. Dave, with that question.
I told you.
We-
I told you. He really did.
You brought
really
it back
did.
with that lovely review at the end, I think, it's fine.
You can make it
You
up.
covered it.
Yeah,
No.
you definitely made up for it.
And I gotta make it for Dave too. Dave, thank you very much for talking about Fogbound. I appreciate you. Dave's book, The Envoys of War. I don't have the physical copy here because, like I said, I'm packing to move, so I can't show anything. They've all been packed. Great book. Really great book. One of the funnier, more wittier books I've read in a long time too, and lots of plans as well.
So many plans.
So many plans. So many plans. Yeah.
Sick.
So if you haven't read Dave's book, you should read that. But don't review it though. I need to catch him in reviews.
All right. Well, thank you everyone in the chat. We appreciate you being here. Thank you, Rach, Aaron, and Maurice. You guys were fantastic. Couldn't have asked for better guests on this first show of Two Scamps, and you guys came with so much knowledge. Like I'm coming away from this knowing a lot more about like what I want to do moving forward with some of my social media stuff. So thank you to all three of you for coming on and, dealing with us on this first go round. And hey, maybe we'll have some of you back some other time later on for something else, but
Sounds
awesome. Yeah, I've read Legend of It is hilarious. The audiobook's great. I've read every book that Rach has written. They're all fantastic. She does the like slow burn, slow burn to possibly lovers thing really, really well. And Maurice, I'm about 10% in, and yours is fantastic so far. I'm feeling like Kings of the Wild is one of my favorite books, and I
Mine
feel
too.
those vibes. And like I market mine as like for fans of Nicholas Eames, and I'm like this one is also in that same.
Yes, thank you.
I
Everyone
love
go tell Nicholas Eames that he should read my book.
Hey, I have
offer
his email address. That's one of the things I need to do is send an email to Nicholas Eames because
That's
I
right.
got his email address from another author who knows him, and like that's kind of how they got connected, was just sending an email like, hey, I love your work, you were an influence on me, and so I need to do that.
He's super nice.
I
talked to
emailed
on
him.
Instagram. He's super nice. Did you?
I emailed him. I emailed him and asked him. I said, "Hey, like my book's been said it's like a family-friendly version of yours. Like, can I send you a copy?" And he politely said, "No, thanks. I don't have time for it. But like, thanks for thinking of me." And he was cool about it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, everyone, and people out there in Chatland. Thanks for coming. We are now going
Thanks,
to
everybody.
wave as
Oh.
we end this thing. It always takes us